Look, it switched them on. Oh well, that's guess that's a sign that everything's working. Refresh here. Yeah, here we are. Looks like we're underway. Smashing. So a bit more yellow this time. This is just a little panel I did some exercise things on, which I'm going to go over. Yes, this is feeling more and more like a continued exercise in futility, but I'll carry on anyway. This is better to tidy up. It's going to all go here. Yeah, where am I? I think I can reclaim some of last week's paint. Especially if I clear a bit of a space first. It's really noisy out there. Every inconsiderate idiot is out. But what can you do? Wouldn't help to join in. I'm trying to remain calm about the whole thing. Okay, well that's still open. Bits of blue. What about these? They're still quite open as well. Make a general neutral out of those. Other than that, let's clear up the whole thing. So the ritual palette scraping is well, exactly that, a ritual. It's like a little necessary process to get going before I start. I've got something quite obviously. Oh, that was my beige. Never mind. Something that I suppose I imagine would have a general appeal. So this is just a new level of an experiment of finding out in exactly what way I can get it wrong, so that even though it ticks all the boxes of what ought to sell and help me avoid living in my car, I will then find out why people don't like it afterwards, and probably because of that very reason. Yeah, sorry if I sound defeatist. I'll be all right once I get going. I've been feeling a bit browbeaten recently, and I'm sure it's a general malaise. It's affecting lots of people. I'm trying to be philosophical about it and be aware of it. Watching the palette clearer, it's quite nice. It's creates that sense of a clear horizon, that anything is possible, at least in this small 16 by 20 area of glass for the next 2 hours. Oh. Put the messaging on. So if you'd like to send me a message, you'd be very welcome. Though it's just me at the moment, I think. Right. Retrieving some paint from here, some raw umber. Not sure about these other dark colours. Always little bits just trying to get in. You know what? I'm going to go as slowly as I need to bend this stuff to my will. If it doesn't want to play, I'll just slow down until it does what I want. Right. Some purple. What about that? Yeah, leftover reddish colour. Might have some use for that. Yeah, it's just turning into. This is just going to be half an hour of me cleaning my palette now, but that seems to be how long that takes. So that's what's happening now. Yeah, like I said, I've sort of yeah, not really in the mood for. doing anything at all with this. No Watkins. There is a phenomenon of unreasonable expectations. I think we all have it. We'll notice when all the lights are red, and it feels like terrible misfortune. But when all the lights are green, we just take it for granted, because of course we should have green lights everywhere. And yeah, it's a common thing I've started to notice more and more. Not in a sort of a large scale important life event kind of way, but just like, I feel like this paint should just scrape easily off this surface, and then when it doesn't, I have to battle it, and then it decides to sort of fold over on itself and attach the sticky wet bits that remain to things that I was trying to keep, and just generally cause a massive mess. So you want to throw the whole thing in a bin and start again. That bit. And it all comes from this expectation that it should just work the way it's meant to work, and when it doesn't, it's a violation of what you felt you were promised by the universe. But of course nothing was promised to you. It never said the lights would be green. And yeah, just accepting what comes along. Quite difficult sometimes, especially when you've got this bloody idiot who keeps parking outside your house. Don't want to listen to his music. I'm going to tell him. Oh, he turns it down at the last minute now. He knows I'm here. The poor sad little fat man. Should feel sorry for him. And clearly life isn't working out for him. That isn't really an excuse to just act like a selfish idiot. Certainly not going to get better for him if he keeps doing that. So anyway, I need to not get annoyed. Quite difficult at the moment. So how are you doing? Perhaps we could solve the world's problems between us, and all get to relax a bit. I think there's just so much lunacy going on, and it's like we've all agreed to just not talk about it because it's all a bit much. But at a certain point, there has to be some kind of outlet. Probably healthier to acknowledge the things that annoy you and what you'd like to do about them. Not that I'm suggesting we do talk about anything global or political, because it probably wouldn't help, but don't want to let it turn into anything bigger, do we? You know what, I think I'm just going to clean my palette tonight. I think that's what tonight's video is going to be. Some mixing white there. Retrieve this bit of that. Some high quality titanium white. That back as well. Thank you. That's my blue. Put that over here. Hmm. Oh. Hey, that's great. That's gone everywhere. Oh, come on. Yay. Sometimes I do actually sort of sort out painting time and then just end up spending the entire time cleaning up after all the different things go wrong. And that's the entire experience. And it's looking like that's what's happening today. Spilt that, so mop that up. Oh, that's the blade on the floor. It's not a good place for it. Hmm. That's a lid. A bit of orange scrapings. Okay, no excuses now. I think I might do a bit of drawing. Yes. Why on earth not? Wonder if anyone's along. Oh yeah, look. Oh, you found me then. Well done. Don't know if I am appearing on Facebook today. Huh. Well, good evening. Jason, did I remember correctly? Tell me if I'm wrong. Hmm. That's the middle of where the glass is going to go. I'll put the top of the glass here and measure the whole thing in glasses. 1, 2, 3. Put a line there. Put another lemon somewhere around here, which drifts off the side of the thing. What about here? I think the whole thing needs to move over a little bit. Maybe that glass goes in the middle. piece of rag. So I'm just playing around with random shapes at the moment. Not that random actually, but something like that, and that is roughly where the line would go. Still be lower down. I think that might be okay though. I'm going to mix some orange, a basic kind of colour. For the chopping board. Add some brown in it and all. You can get more orange or less orange in places. But to begin with, let's have a context. Oh god, that's miles off. I can't even see that properly. Okay, that's more like it. No, even more orange than that. I'm going to keep turning it up. There we go. A little bit lighter. Okay, I'm going to do some negative shapes. Just for the sake of seeing them, really, because there's already paint on this surface. Yeah. A bit up here. Something a bit like that. About behind. Still not too late to move the whole thing over a bit. Something like that. Let's do a shadow version. going to be quite purple. Maybe the purple's enough. Wait now until it's in. Great. So yeah, the exercises that were underneath here were really about the palette being the thing that makes the picture more than the particular strokes or marks you choose to make. And that if that works, you can do a cubic tomato and it's still tomatoey because of the relationship of colours, because that's what says tomato more than the shape of the tomato in particular. Okay. Maybe that's what will happen here, maybe not. Guess we'll see. Probably enough of that. I've kept this blue background. I rather like it. I think it's rather good. Let's do a few of these blues as well. And then at the end of that, I should have some vague idea of whether I'm going in the right direction with the palette. That's that. It's definitely not enough paint, but it's some paint. Another thing I've noticed recently, actually, is that the more shoddily painted something is, the more it sort of fits in with this aesthetic of I don't know. If I just didn't really bother, maybe it'd be better. Also, this might chop down to become a square picture. Okay, so this blue sort of travels across here as well. And there's some in here. Quite a bit down there. It's mildly confused as to whether that's going to be all chopping board colour or blue from the background colour. There is, however, this sort of blue here. Might make a lighter version. Yeah. Just with the brush mix, I'm going to do a slightly lighter one just to put a few other bits in there. No, that's a different blue now. There are some bits of it hanging around. There's the front, maybe somewhere around there. No, that's not right. Might work for in here though. Well, I'll break some of those edges. Particularly sure about that either. Who's here to cheer me up? Ah, yes, Jason. Oh, 40 by 32. That's a big picture. Crikey. Well, make sure you mix enough paint, because that's the biggest enemy. Spreading it out too thin. Yeah, I would crikey, that's just over 1 meter by, that'd be, yeah, 1 meter by 80 centimeters roughly. 40 by 32. I've got some big portraits I did at that scale. It worked well for them. But still life, that's, oh, that sounds genuinely exciting. Oh yeah, okay. So there's other places this colour goes. For example, under here. Maybe somewhere around there. It looks to be a bit thicker and not mixed with the blue, if possible. There we are. There's also some around here. That goes into a red colour somehow. The bit is red. Yeah, it's sort of deep reddy brown. I'm going to use that. That's pretty good. Borrowed off last week's palette. In here, it does mix into that purpley colour. Anywhere else that goes? Not really, no. Maybe some of the deeper shadows underneath here. There's some. There's a hint of it there. Just put a dark bit at the back of that. Where else? Anywhere there? No, not really. moving it in very slightly. And that lines up. We can't have that. In which case I'll move this in very slightly. I can move them both in then. That's good. Right, where was I? Oh yeah. Should make a couple of yellows. Make a couple of yellows. Yeah. So not actually that far into the painting because most of it was cleaning the palette, but there you go. Definitely redder than that. Over here. Tonally it's good. Yeah, quite a good colour for the inside, but 100% there. I'll just spread this thin and use it to sort of define some of these shapes. So there is going to be a lighter colour for the chopping board that's going to make an appearance. That will be necessary. This will get some of this yellow in here. Or a bit of that peachy colour because it's reflecting up from under here. That's pretty good. What about elsewhere? Put it over this side. Yeah, that's nice. Again, a bit more orange, not too bright. And come around there like that. Yeah. That's redder. Lose the contrast there. We get it back over here. Maybe it's bluer. Very hard to tell. I need to pause for a moment. Let's get some of this yellow in, then it'll tell me what it wants. Let's hope this is approaching the right colour. I'll just shoot up all of that. Yeah, weird. Much more lemony now. I'll keep a bit of that. I'll messed up a little bit. Shift it towards the orange. Like it. Haven't mixed large quantities. Just enough to put a few shapes on. See how it looks. Here. That's already mixing on the surface, which is not ideal. There. Okay, right. Let's get some of this lemony bit in, which goes in there. Bit on the top of that. This is all orangey, what's been left over here. I think that's partly because of the reflections from the chopping board. Okay. There's a bit more green in the middle where they're chopped. Pop a little bit of that in, especially where it's lighter. A bit around the edge. And a little bit in there. But yeah, that's all in the light. A few little structures and bits and pieces. Where am I now? A mix of that blue and that peachy colour, chopping board colour. See if that works. Not sure if it does. It needs to be pinker. I suppose it's only really the red that's getting into the reflections. And a bit more white on this side. Winding down a bit now. A few interesting little discoveries happening. I'm going to make this paler, pinker version and see if it helps. Yeah, that's probably too much. There's a few places I can see it. There's some greys that are going to go in here as well, but there's that down at the bottom. Let's go a bit more purple up here. There we are. Where else am I seeing this? I've got this bluey violet colour in here. There's there as well. Hmm. Must be maybe we're pretty close to. It's probably gone 8 o'clock, isn't it? Okay, it's that. There's this greenish light. I can see there and there. A few little flicks of it. We could do with a little bit of oil in there, make it. No, maybe this is okay for just placing it. Oh, there it is again. Where else that goes? I don't think so. Oh, yeah, there's all the paint's shiny, and I've got a little clip-on thing, but of course I can't find that because I had to rearrange things last week for a different camera because it was looking down, and so now that's gone forever because it got moved slightly, and so now it's just shiny paint. You can't see what I'm doing, which renders the whole thing a bit pointless. Right. gone. I've seen it. I'm going to look for it. Take the microphone off while I do. Went onto the floor. I don't think so. Right. There it is. Found it. Right. That's already. I think the next thing I need to do is go back to this peachy colour before it disappears and mix the lighter one. Oh, first thing to do actually is just mix some more of it. I can't remember what I made, and also I'm running out of paint. So I think I've probably got enough red there, but I'll leave this out. A bit more raw umber. Some burnt sienna, it might be okay. That'd be quite useful. It's a million miles away, isn't it? It's really yellow. So maybe it wasn't as far away as I thought. that's pretty close. Where it gets lighter, it might get yellower. Right. Let's see if that does anything useful. It's the yellow brush. I need a new brush. Oh, you know what? It's pinker. Make a lighter version of that too. There. Ah, what was that? Get rid of that. No, wrong brush now. Hmm. I know I'm not being very chatty tonight, but that's how it is sometimes. Hmm. Gonna have to do for that. We can darken this bit too. Create a bit of an edge there. Got more one there too. Around here. Still haven't put the lime in. Probably going to start feeling a bit necessary soon. A bit darker there. And here and under here. That's quite interesting. Let's go darker in there. A few little dashes, good. Where else? Make an earthier dark colour, out of which the line will emerge. Yeah. Includes the shadow at the bottom. The blue bits, sharpen that up. And this here. Yeah, once I've got a bit going across there, that will shape that up nicely. The highlights yet to go in. Go back to those shadows. Restore that. And this. A bit of that too. Okay, now I've got some of these warmer colours. I can probably do. That's already there. A bit red straight into it. See what I can get away with. Yeah, that's pretty good. Little shifts. Back to the yellow. Pop a bit in there just to lighten it up. A little bit in here. There's a brighter yellow to go on in time. First things first. Ooh. Mouse. That's already there. That's already dark. Okay, now this should be interesting. This is final touches, and they're quite distinct in their way from what's already gone before. Some of these highlights in the glass, and they're absolutely going to define the shape of the water, which isn't in yet. Oh, hang on. As luck would have it, this colour I have here is going to do a nice shape there. Even keep going around a little bit. Oh yeah, I spotted it there earlier. I can go back in again. This is probably in the wrong place. Get away with it. Let's do the green of the lime, shall we? It's going to relate to the yellow. There's a bit of this to begin with. That's pretty good. We've got a blue side as well. See what this does. Establish some of the greenness. It's yellow outside that, it also gets a bit paler. Around here. At the top, pop a bit of that in. As it gets paler, it gets a lot yellower. And here. It's like a kind of a browny yellow around there. And that deeper green in again. Very slightly yellow tint to that highlight there. That was too much. Purpley highlight on behind. Oh, this has it too. Anyone else? No. Darker green, take the edge off that. I could fiddle with that plenty if I needed to, but I'm not going to. That'll do. Okay, other things. I can bring. There's a slightly greeny light where the lemons are cut. Pop that there. White to yellowy light. I'm going to be really cheeky and make a slightly pinkish one too. Right up. Clean brush now. So it's got a clean brush. I'll do some of this violet first, because there's some little indents where the light really shows up, but it leaves tiny little shadows. Anywhere else? There you go. Can't really see any on here, so that's enough of that. Right, where should I start? I'll start with the really pale greeny one. Too green. I use that as a highlight colour. Let's go to the yellowy one. Start where it's sort of thickest and brightest. Maybe around here, like that. That is not the brush mark I wanted to make. Similarly here. It gets a bit thicker. A bit thinner here. I'll warm that up ever so slightly. Oh. As I go on with it, I can pull some of these shapes out the middle of these as well. Sometimes I'm pulling it in from the outside, sometimes from the inside. There we are. bit more yellow, keep it on the greeny side. Yeah, there's a bit in there. A bit there. Yeah. There's nowhere to go with the highlights on these because I've already sort of gone all the way nearly to white. I can probably take this back a little bit. This might be quite good for the highlights on there. Is this too soon, or can I get more colour in that? I think I probably can. Yeah. Well, while that's on there, it's got to get thicker. Need some really dense paint on there. Easel's the wrong shape to put that on with a palette knife. I just have to paste it on with a really heavily loaded brush. Let's go on there like that. Let's travel all the way across. So going around the edge of this. That's good. Where else is this really yellow? That's the maximum yellow up there. It's paler at the back as it gets nearer to the light, so I think I'm going to make something of that as well. Yeah, there. That will really make an edge against that blue. That's that. I have a green brush. It's almost kind of purpley, that one. That's okay. Yeah, something in that. I've got some of that pale yellow and some of this peachy colour together. Make a few extra bright highlights for this chopping board, especially there at the edge of that shadow. Oh, that's bursting with colour, that one. Okay. Last bit then. I want this slightly greyish white. I'll use this greener one. Let it mix with the red a little bit. And this will set the stage for the bright highlights, but not actually include them yet. Make some useful shapes into which the highlights will go. Including there. Wander into the inside. Okay, here's a few. Okay, if we go all the way to, oh, a little dab of oil, that's probably a bit too much. Let's go all the way to this slightly yellowy light. Scoop that up into little blobs on the corner of the brush. Start with the lightest bits. Smash. There you are. Still not quite bright enough. Maybe I didn't leave enough room for the very brightest highlights. Like that. There! Oh, it's all mucky now. There we go. There's a bit, a couple of dashes there, one there. There's one in there. One there's really bright. Ooh, it's starting to glitter a little bit now, isn't it? Okay, at this point, sort of brighten up and cool down bits of this pith. And that's probably done, isn't it? very briefly back to that green. Yeah, there's no more paint going on there. I think texturally that's pretty much at the maximum. So let's have a bit more of this blue. I'm going to put a bit more light in it, make a lighter version. And that will leave some of the darker ones in the glass very well defined by part of a different tonal range. If I can trim that off just right. Bend that down. And then pull that paint inwards and outwards and upwards and in all different directions. Let's see it as an outline. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's in. Hmm. Could be worse. They are. What a glowing moment of pride. Could be worse moment. You know, right now I'll take it. There we go. Bit of fun. Bits I'm not sure about. I can always sort of spread them out like that. Here. A bit of sparkle. Not doing any more than that. Other than I will sign it. In this creamy colour, which will immediately turn blue because of all the blue paint on it. There we go. How are we doing time-wise? Oh, there you go, 15 minutes to spare. Well, oh, there you are, few comments. Hello all. Only 3 minutes behind, at least there. I probably should have stopped 3 minutes ago. There you go. So I didn't do any slices of lemon in the glass, but hi Michelle and Josie, and thank you Jason for letting me off having to chat all the time. I was on a bit of a quiet one tonight, but focusing on the painting, I guess, and I think I needed to get out of a particular headspace, so it was useful for that. So I'm seeing a few things now, like this shadow at the front. I don't like it. It's got to be crisper. So what I might do is going in the direction of the board, do that. Don't know if it improves it much. You can do it the other way around with this and just take some away. Yeah, that's fine. I like the way the board doesn't match up. It's all a bit higgledy-piggledy, the whole thing. But I think that's partly how I was feeling with it, so I'll let that go. Oh, I'm going to change the camera over. We'll have a little look at there we are. That's my panel and my subject matter. Okay. There's some subject matter from my point of view. And then there's the painting. There's not a lot going on with the glass, but it's got some of the right bits in the right places in terms of the lights, the way the colour travels around. Lime I'm actually quite pleased with. That lemon less so. That one's fine. I do like how thick the paint gets on it though. So there's a kind of a presence in real life. It's amazing. I quite often see things on a screen and think, yeah, it looks great on the screen, but I can tell in real life it would just sort of be a bit flat and dead and disappointing. So not so with this. I've absolutely slathered it on this time. So it will have a presence, this one. There you go. So thank you very much for joining me. All of you popped in. It's been I don't know if I'd say it's been a pleasure at the moment. I'm not feeling a lot of pleasure at the moment, but I still get to paint, and that's helping. So yes, thanks so much for coming, and yeah, keep your ear to the ground. There's more bits and pieces coming along, and hopefully, oh, I've got Art Week's coming up, so I'm kind of preparing for that. Oh, I don't like that ellipse. Yes, this is what happens next. It's fine. It's not fine. No, it's fine. It's not fine though. Right. So yes, who knows what might happen with this ellipse later on. One to watch out for. But yes, so so nice that people come along and check out what I'm doing, and I hope that was fun. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.